from Hooked on Picking here. I know that I had gone over some of the items that were in our very first pallet that we got from bulk.com. It's BULQ.com that we order some of our inventory from. It's a good way to online source, and it's been really beneficial for us. This was our first pallet. As you can see, it's enormous. We had them drop it off in our carport, and I'm going to run over some numbers of things that we found in it. If you watch my 2 previous videos that I put right before this, it shows some of the items that we actually purchased, so that you can get a better idea of what was in this pallet. So it comes actually on a pallet. They drop it off with a truck, and you have to actually set up a drop-off time for them. They won't just drop it at your house. So you actually get an email from bulk.com and set up a delivery time so that you have to sign for it. But anyway, in this pallet, it cost us $504 for what we purchased, and that includes the $200 of shipping for a pallet. Now, when you buy a box, if you want to scan over here, this is the size of a box or a case, and that's $30 in shipping. And so obviously, definitely a huge size difference. But we got 184 items that were listed on the manifest, and they include some UPC codes and some not UPC codes. So some things you can look up and some things you couldn't. The reason we purchased this pallet is we had a few things in there that we knew for sure that we could sell when we looked it up on the UPC code, and we knew, okay, if we sell all of these, we can at least make our money back, and everything else is bonus. So numbers on what we actually made. $504 is what I spent for this pallet delivered. So that means that I needed to make at least $504 just to get my money out of it, and then everything else was bonus. When I got done listing, it equaled out to be about $3,000 of money coming back to me. You take the $504 out of that, and it's going to be about $2,500 if everything sells at the price I listed it for. Now, you and I both know if you sell on Amazon FBA, that's generally not what happens. You have to go into price wars with a few other people, and you're going to knock it down quite a bit. And I ended up listing 158 items from this pallet, so I do have a giant stack of clothes still left over that I'm considering listing on eBay or just donating, because a lot of the items are brand new, and they're coats and things like that that somebody might need. So 158 items. After price wars on Amazon, I'm being very conservative, and we're going to knock $1,000 off that. So I will profit probably around $1,500, $2,000 back to me, $500 to pay for this, and then $1,500 in profit. So in one pallet, if it sells very conservatively, even in price wars on Amazon FBA, I should triple my money. And so one thing I do want you to know is it is not easy when you do a pallet. Wow, $1,500, yay! Well, it took me roughly about 18 to 20 hours to unbox everything, package everything so that it looked professional and new and it wasn't going to get damaged in the Amazon warehouse, and to list it and to ship it. And so it took me about 3 separate shipments in one solid week, and I just finished up so that I could give you these numbers. So some of the things come with tags. Some of the things you can tell were brand new but probably returned without the tags. And so it took some investigating, trying to figure out what is this item. There were quite a few items I couldn't find in the Amazon database at all. And those are the ones that I'm going to consider selling on eBay, because I could find them when I Google searched them. But I couldn't find them on eBay or Amazon, and so I may be able to flip them a different way. So I just kind of wanted to give you some rough estimations. So $500 purchase price, probably conservatively $1,500 cash in my pocket. If all goes well and everything sells at the price I got it for, maybe even $3,000 to $2,500 cash in my pocket. Another thing I wanted to bring to your attention was when you're outsourcing at a store, you can look at sales rank and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to buy this because it has a fantastic sales rank. That's not the case with bulk. Bulk, you get what you get. And so there were quite a few things that I listed that I wouldn't normally purchase if I was out retail arbitraging or retail sourcing, because they had a much higher sales rank. I did list a few things that had 1 to 2 million sales ranks, which may or may not sell for me at all. And what I generally did was, if an item on there was going for about $30 and it had a 1 million sales rank or no sales rank at all, I dropped it down and sold it for about 20 bucks, chopped it about $10, because I'm like, with such a high sales rank, I want my product to move. sitting there at the warehouse. It's not making you any money, and you're tying up that cash. So a couple of things to consider when buying from bulk. Now, I did find a few things in there that were in the 20,000, 30,000 sales range, which means they're going to sell much quicker. But usually those items had other competitors, other Amazon FBA sellers, and so I'm going to definitely have to price drop. So things to consider when buying from bulk. I've been really, really pleased. This was the scratched and dent condition. When you look on bulk, there's new, there's refurbished, I think there's a scratched and dent, and uninspected returns. There's a few different condition options. This was scratched and dent, had a lot of clothing, a lot of shoes in it, but almost every single article of clothing and shoes, even though it was considered scratched and dent, were brand new with tags, in fantastic condition, in original boxes, things like that. So we've been very, very pleased. Definitely on the upper echelon of condition. So if it says scratch and dent, you're going to get better than scratched and dent. Now, we did find a few articles of clothing that you could tell they must have lived with a cat and then returned these articles of clothing, and I just don't even sell those at all. Generally, those go in the trash because I don't want to give Amazon poor quality, nor do I want my customer to have poor quality. So, just an update on our first pallet from bulk.com. We've been really excited about it, and as we do more videos, we'll be able to update you a little bit more even on some of the products that we sold. But I shipped my first few boxes in about 3 days ago, and I've already sold, I think, 4 products out of this pallet. And so things are moving. We should be able to get our money back and profit on top of that. And remember, in the end, Jesus wins.